Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel dedicated to helping parents like you guide your child to greater confidence and interest in maths. I'm Benjamin, and today I'll be sharing the must-know time management skills needed to score for PSLE Maths Paper 2, the problem sum section. If it's a paper 1 you need help with, I've got a dedicated video on that too, link in the description. Before we go further, from 2026, PSLE Maths Paper 2 has also changed significantly. The marks, the number of questions, and the time given have all changed. So grab a pen and paper. I'll be showing the key numbers as graphics throughout this video, and you'll want to note them down so you and your child can use them for practice. Has your child been struggling to improve their results in the problem sum section? The truth is, many of my students have been able to improve their results quickly simply by learning how to manage their time well and forming good habits that allow them to solve problem sums quickly. In other words, they don't actually have to study harder just to get better results. What I'll be sharing is what my students have been trained to do to get quicker improvement and become top students. Of course, improving their knowledge and skill is also important, and you'll find those in my other teaching videos in this channel. In this video, we will be covering 1. The new structure and time limits for paper 2. 2. How much time to spend on each question. 3. What to do at the start of the paper. 4. What to do when a student gets stuck on a question. And 5. Habits to adopt to improve speed and accuracy. But before I get into the details, allow me to briefly introduce myself. I'm Benjamin, author of 18 math guidebooks found in all major bookshops like Popular. I'm also the personal tutor to more than 3,500 students over the last 29 years, many of whom have gone from borderline to top students by using the same methods I'll be sharing with you to get those top results. Let's start with a good foundation by being familiar with the new structure and time limits for paper 2. This may surprise you, but many of the students I meet do not know how much time they have for the paper and how many marks each question carries. Obviously, it is critical to know these things well to properly prepare for the exam. Ask your child to make sure they know what I'm about to share with you. Since 2026, paper 2 carries a total of 50 marks. To be done in 80 minutes, calculators are allowed for this paper. First, the 2-mark questions. Questions 1 to 5 carry 2 marks each for a total of 10 marks. Then questions 6 to 15 are structured or long answer questions worth 3, 4 or 5 marks each depending on the question for a combined total of 40 marks. So now that we know the structure, let's talk about how much time to spend on each question. Keep in mind that this is a rough estimate and your child should be trained to handle the questions within the time limit and to develop a sense of how much time to spend on each question. With 50 marks and a time limit of 80 minutes, this works out to roughly 1.5 minutes per mark, including checking time. For the 2-mark questions, that should be solved in a total of 10 to 15 minutes. For the structured and long answer questions, apply that same rough rate to about 1.5 minutes per mark. So a 3-mark question should take about 4 to 5 minutes, a 4-mark question about 6 minutes, and a 5-mark question about 7 to 8 minutes, depending on what appears in that year's paper. During practice, make sure they complete each question within the time allowance for the marks given to develop this sense of timing. On the side note, you can use a simple timer during practice. Just a quick check. Have you written these numbers down? If not, you may want to rewatch this part before going further. As they say, knowledge is power, and knowing exactly how this paper is structured gives your child a real advantage over students who walk in without that awareness. Here's a simple way to gauge pace. At the 40-minute mark, half of the 80 minutes, your child should have attempted questions worth roughly half the total marks, about 25 marks. That's the 5 short answer questions done, plus about 3 to 4 of the structured questions, so somewhere around question 9 or 10. If they are behind that, they need to speed up immediately rather than wait until the last 10 minutes to realize it. If you found this useful so far and have yet to subscribe, hit that button now so you don't miss the rest of what's coming to help your child manage paper 2 with confidence. So, what is the first thing to do at the start of the exam? Is it to begin by quickly answering the first question? The simple answer is no. Before attempting the questions, it is important to take a quick look at all the questions to know what to expect. What to do at the start of PSLE Maths Paper 2? Look through all the pages quickly in about 5 minutes before attempting to start solving questions. Highlight all the keywords quickly. Why? Many students make the mistake of spending too much time on the first question they have trouble with. They spend too much time trying to provide the perfect answer. As a result, they sacrifice the time meant for the last few high-mark questions. So at the end of the paper, they end up rushing through those questions and doing them poorly. But why do they do that? It's because they tend to think the last few high-mark questions are going to be too difficult. So the average student spends more time on the earlier questions to perfect them so they can get the marks. But this is untrue. And they tend to find that out only when they are almost out of time, when it's too late. The truth is, these are questions they would have been able to solve if they had spent a fair amount of time doing it and getting the marks. What a waste. And what should a student do when he finds a problem sum too difficult? Let me share this with you. What to do when the problem sum is too difficult? Number one, it's too difficult if you can't start after 1 minute. If after a minute you're not able to start, it's unlikely the next minute will make any difference. Also, returning to it later will often bring a fresh perspective and so a solution. Number two, highlight the question clearly and return to it at the end of the paper. Number three, move on to the next question immediately. Finally, let's talk about habits to develop speed and accuracy in problem solving. Habits to adopt to develop speed and accuracy for problem sums. Always use a calculator. Even if you think your mental calculation is good, this is especially critical in exams, as stress can cause mistakes and early calculation mistakes can throw off the whole question. Number two, focus on completion, not perfection. Finish everything you can, then polish and check. Number three, do not try to write perfectly if it slows you down. It's very important to be legible, but unfortunately, there are no marks for beautiful handwriting. There are marks for getting the question correct, but it is important that the marker can understand the words and numbers clearly. Of course, there are more habits that can help you avoid careless mistakes, and you can find them in my other videos. For methods to check for careless mistakes, please check out my Instagram, found in the description below. Or you can WhatsApp me with your name and best email, and I will personally send you my How to Avoid the Top 10 Careless Mistakes ebook. Managing problem sums well gets your child the marks that matter most. But if paper 1 is where they are losing easy marks, that's exactly what my paper 1 video covers. Go check that out next, link in the description. I also run live sessions and post teaching videos on this regularly. So if you want more of this, come watch my lessons and join a live session. The details are in the description below. If this helped, share it with a friend who is also trying to get their child through this section. And check out my IG channel in the description below for more of this kind of thing. If you're serious about transforming your child's interest in maths, call or WhatsApp me at my number, found in the description below, to have a chat with me to help your child score and excel while studying less. I'll see you again.